Good afternoon. Again, as I said that this pie has been grown in multiple numbers within our team, within the extended arms of the IQAir and BreatheEasy across the country. Now we have new partners in Bangalore, in Hosur, and obviously in Chennai and Cochin, and new partners have joined us in West Bengal and Odisha also. We have partners from Mumbai, Gautam Bhatia for representing Red Fanatics, Sagar Swami representing South Gujarat, J Air Systems, and Darshan Bhai and Vijay Bhai from Gujarat, and they are handling. They are the first ones who supported us in terms of starting this business outside Delhi NCR, if I would name them. Then it's all of their support and understanding that what we are doing with other partners, we have learned so much from them as well to make the system more and more robust, clear, transparent. Today we have a very good session which is in front of you now. This is going to be a training session, but I would like to have this as an interactive session. Yeah, Ramesh has joined from Listening from Chennai. Welcome, Ramesh. So this is going to be an interactive session. You guys are welcome to interact with our service team, which is being headed by Atul Arora and Amir Shah in BreatheEasy Delhi office. And then they will also demonstrate few of the things in front of you in terms of repairs and maintenance of the machines, the installations, and the servicing part, so that you or your team, yeah, Denzel has also joined. Welcome, Denzel, from Chennai. Thank you, Denzel and Ramesh from Listening
Hi.
to join. Hi, hi. Thanks for joining. So we are about to start this training and the interactive session with our service team, which is, I would like to now hand over this session to Atul and Amir to start with the presentation and the videos. I hope that all of you must have gone through the video which was shared by my colleague Girish few days back, which gives you a clear idea that how the filters of one machine, which is Health Pro 250, is being arranged, and how it can be monitored in terms of frequency of change of filters. And that is how the systems can be monitored and maintained. So this is going to be an interactive session. Wherever you feel so, you can raise your hand and you can start interacting with our service team. Over to you, Atul and Amir. Thank you, sir.
Atul, Amir, before you join, one sec, just a couple of things. This is Girish here. So before we start, request everyone to be on mute. And in case you have any question, you can unmute and ask. The other thing is the idea of having this training is to ensure that independently all of you are able to take care of the basic requests of training. There's not going to be much of a challenge on product point of view, but whatever we have encountered in the last few years, we are trying to share our experience with you so that you are independently self-reliant to take care at your own end. Of course, we are all available and on phone, Zoom, but we want to make it more independent for you so that it's become easier and quick. And that's why Amir and Atul will try and share with you as much as possible so that it's very easy to understand when any such issue comes up. So yeah, thanks Atul. Amir, over to you.
Thank you, sir. So, hello everyone. I hope I am audible to everyone.
Yes, Atul, you are audible.
Thank you. So, hello everyone. I'm going to tell you more about the basic things I'm going to cover in this video is about the installation of the air purifier, how we install the air purifiers with ducting, without ducting, normal, what are the things that we have to make sure should take care of those things. Next, I'm going to tell you how we replace the filters and how to reset those filters, and the repair and servicing of the air purifiers I'm going to cover in this presentation. So next is the setting up of an air purifier. So when you got a new air purifier, when you unpack the box, you receive these following items. You receive one remote, one caster wheel set, and a user manual guide, a warranty term and specification paper, and a certificate of performance. The unique thing about the IQAir is that with every machine, it gives the certificate of performance. Next is installation of caster. Now I'm starting how we going to install our air purifier. So if you see, if you turn the purifier at the back, at the bottom, there is a casters you have to attach. You can see in the slide I'm representing. Also, I can show you, my colleague will show you how to do it.
Atul, you'll have to unshare and then show on the video.
Amir is going to show you how to install is preparing. Meanwhile, I'm going to tell you the steps. First, you have to turn the purifier at the bottom. Then there's an attachment with the casters. You have to put that attachment at the edge side. Then there are wheels. You have to press those wheels and a click sign will come. Then the wheel is installed. There are 4 wheels in the air purifier.
Atul, can you come closer and speak? I think Gautam has an audio issue, I guess.
Okay. So I'm going to, hello. So you can see there the casters are there. Amit, tu apne screen se. So you can see in the screen, there the Amir screen, if you can see. Then this part you have to install. Push your hands and you have to install that part. And also start sharing my screen.
Amir, you can just, if you just hold the position where you're pressing the casters, the way it is shown on the presentation, then it will be understood.
So in here you have to first put this part attached, then hold, and you have to press the casters, and the click sound will come. Then the caster is going to install. You can see in Amir's video clearly. Actually,
Atul, you have to unshare, then only we can see the video. If you unshare, yeah. Now we can see. So I think if all of you have seen the video which I shared, it also showed you how where those casters are to be placed, and the wheels are separately to be placed, but you have to just push in the groove which has been provided in the bottom. So which Amir is trying to show. In that video also it has seen. I hope everybody is trying to see the video. Yeah, Atul, Amir. Atul, you are mute, I guess.
so next is choosing a suitable location for the air purifier. So it is very important to have a suitable location, to select a suitable location for the air purifier. Generally, a customer question that where I should place an air purifier, I should be using in a living room, I should be using in a bedroom, and how many hours should I run the air purifier? These are the common questions that comes from the customer. So the location, ideal location is where you spend most of your times. Like if you spend 8-10 hours in your bedroom, so you must have an air purifier in the bedroom. You spend 8-10 hours in the office, you have an air purifier in the office. Now in the office, or in the office, which is the ideal location? So any of the corner of the room will be the ideal location. It should not be a close to the door, opening door. It should not be a close to a washroom door. It should be away from these doors. Generally, we recommend. And it should be at a some distance from the wall. All the sides of the air purifier should be at least at 1 feet away from the wall. So it get a proper air to recirculate for circulation. And your power cord should be connected, it should be near the power plug, so it will not obstruct the way when you are installing an air purifier. So these things you have to keep in mind. Now installation of air purifier with ducting. Now this is the last part I have covered is for the recirculation of an air purifier. Now ducting, is can be done in an air purifier in 3 ways. Like inflow ducting, the extreme right video is showing the inflow ducting. The below that video, this is a outflow ducting, and one with the wall mount. This is the 3 ways where we can install the our ducting systems. So this is the all parts I am showing is for inflow ducting. We generally do inflow ducting in houses. And the first thing to do an inflow ducting is a feasibility check. You have to check whether it is feasible to install that purifier or not. If you are installing in a wall, so you have to check that out the other side of the wall you have an access to. There should not be any wiring, live wire going to before you drill any hole. So you have to keep those things in mind before you are installing a air purifier. So these are the things like making after feasibility check. You have to cut a hole, a drill. I'm going to tell you the exact specifications, or you have to either you call a local mason or you call a core cutting. There's a machine that can drill the complete hole in the wall. That's a core cutting machine that can be, the installation can be done through that also. Next is you have to check the leakages of the premises also. It is very important. If you want to create a positive pressure in a space, that there should not be any leakages. Like if we have noticed that a few houses really have a very bad leakages, like from the windows, from below the doors. Some have leakages in HVAC systems also. So we have to make sure that these all leakages should be completely sealed. The room should be completely airtight, so we get the maximum efficiency. We have noticed a lot of customers got the air purifier installed and they are saying the readings are not coming good. We are not happy. Then we go and analysis. Then we find that there are multiple leakages in their houses. So when we once fix them, then the all problem is solved. So this is how the technical specification of the ducting. So this hole size is typically in our ducting pipe is 5.1 inches. The diameter of the duct is 5 inches. So if we are cutting through a core cutting machine, we have the ducting, that much size is not available very easily. So we cut 6 inches hole that you can see in the image. This is a core cutting machine that drill the hole. This is a 6 inches dia hole that we done. Then we install our fittings. I'm going to show you all fittings. This is the pipe length that goes in the hole drilled. It comes with 2 lengths, 4 inches and 6 inches. If it is not available, if the depth size is more, you can purchase locally a pipe from the market, PVC pipe, and can use that also. Then from the inside side, we have a damper. It's a one-way damper. So here you can see in the image also, it's a one-way damper. Then we have from outdoor, we have a mesh that can be shown in this image also.
Atul, can you show me which side is correct in the damper there?
Yeah, I'm going to show you. There are holes. If you can see, these two holes are marking. It would be like this. These holes will see you. You can see from front side these holes. It's a backway damper. If the air will come like this, then this damper will open.
Well, the other video is not visible. We can only see the PPT, huh? I guess. 1 second.
Okay, I'll stop sharing my screen. Then I guess.
Yeah. Now we can show. Yeah.
So this is the one-way damper. Here, these two holes are there. Then if this is my wall, then this will going to be like this. And if I blow air, air will come from this side, so it will open, and purifier will get the air. I hope it is clear now. These two holes are marked, so it's an indicator that it will remain inside. I hope it is clear.
Yes, thanks.
Then this is a flexible duct which comes with the machine. This duct is going to be clamped with this part, and that will be installed with this attachment that goes inside the machine. Amir is going to show you where it is going to be put. So this will be going to connect from here. And this will generally machine is on wheels. You can see in this here. Generally with the machine, wheels comes, but with ducting we have got separate attachments for the legs. So we are going to put that. I'm going to show you also those attachments. In place of wheels, we got these legs for the machine. So that machine will stay at the location. It will not move here, and one cannot move it from its location. And to connect the damper, this part is there. We screw that with the 6 screws. And we make sure that this side is towards where the socket goes. We make sure that also. Amir can show you the socket. This socket and this side we generally keep in the same place. And with ducting, we install one more filter to the machine, that is PF40 pads.
In fact, that is in a way mandatory. We advise everybody who is using ducting to have a PF40 pads.
PF40 pads.
Because the air from outside which comes with a lot of pollutants. So PF40 pads will help you enhance your the Premax and the filter life. So it is recommended to have PF40 pads with ducting.
And this is the outer mesh grill. That going to be placed other side of the wall, so that no mosquitoes or something will go inside the machine.
Rats, we have some rat menace also sometimes. So avoid all those menaces. These meshes used in the outside where the hole is exposed to the ambient air.
Now the next part is to check and
Atul, before you move to the filter, I think one very important point or to note for all the dealers is that when they are doing the ducting at their local end, any of the markets wherever they are, they need to ensure that these specific machines are there and people who are well versed of drilling the holes and are aware should be should be engaged. So not everybody should be can be doing it. There's a special machine for this particular hole. So a specific machine I'm saying. So I think Atul and Amir can guide in terms of how the drilling has to be done. So if you have a customer who wants ducting, Atul Amir can assist you initially in terms of how and what kind of machines to be used and how they can monitor the ducting initially. Or we'll see how it goes, and then probably we should take care of that.
sure, sir. So one or two things that one has to make sure is that with the core cutting machine, the drill dia is 6 inches. So we have to make sure that after putting a pipe, it should be completely sealed once before installing the damper. And second is from the ground level, the ducting height should be 6 inches or as low as possible. We generally make sure.
The other important thing, very important to note to the dealers, is that as part of our warranty documents, there is another letter which confirmation letter which has to be taken from the customer. So before we get into ducting, that's a mandatory NDA kind of a thing, because first, of course, due diligence on checking the wall is important. You should, like Atul already mentioned, there should be no wiring, no beam, columns, whatever which can hamper the structure of the building. That is one. After that is taken care, even before starting the work, the sign off has to be taken from the customer. The format is available with us. We'll share with you on the soft copy. A sign off has to be taken so that in case unfortunately there is any, even after taking precautions, something happens, then we are indemnified. So we should not do anything which can harm the structure of the building. So that Atul, Amir, we should share that document on the soft copy to the team as well.
Sure.
So in the training document that we have made, we will very soon be sharing all these letters and the procedures that we have already made and we have in place, so that it is really very easy for anyone to understand and go through that procedure.
Yeah, very important. But yeah, thank you so much, Amir.
Okay. So going ahead, now I'm going to tell you about how to replace the filters. So in IQAir, the filter replacement is very easy. It indicates itself that it's time to replace the filter. When the light is green, then it has 80% life. When the life is left below 20%, it indicates you with an orange light that it need to 20% light is left. Then again another signal comes when the 10% of the filter life left. Once the 10% of the life is finished, then it start blinking red, and on the screen it shows replace filter. So each filter has a different life. I hope everyone must have know. Like it depends on the uses also. Like first, I'm talking about Health Pro 250. So premix filter F1 life is approximately 9 to 16 months. It depends on uses also. Then the F2 filter generally, what we have observed, it lasts for around 12 to 18 months, depend on use also. Then next is the hyper HEPA filter. It lasts typically 2.5 to 3 years in between. Then once you replace the filter replacement is easy. I'm going to show you one video how to replace those filters. Once you replace the filter, the important thing is to reset the filter life. If you don't reset the filter light, then it will still showing red, or at what stage you have replaced the filter. Like if it shows you replace filter, so it is important to set the filter life. In order to set the filter life, you have to press the menu button. Okay. 7 times when you press the menu button, you will reach to a new filter on the screen. A new filter will show you. Then you have to, once the new filter flash, then you have to press the enter key and hold it for 3 to 5 seconds. Once you hold it, then the new filter will indicate you pre-max. From the arrow key, you can change the filter whatever you are changing, like pre-max, V5 or hyper HEPA, you can select. Once you select the filter, then you have to press enter once, then it asks you a question, new filter, and E yes, M cancel. If you are changing, it's just a confirmation question. Once you confirm by pressing the enter, your filter life is reset, and it will indicate you the number of hours with the filters have. Here is a video that how we are going to install the IQAir filters.
So what I think what the video is trying to show is the 3 different filters. I'm sure most of you have seen it now by now because you started selling it. So I think it is showing the Premax, the V5, and the Hyper HEPA filter. And now it's
now
yeah.
When you one more thing, I am going to just take you to that option. This arm opening is very important thing. You have to make sure that sometimes it happen that customer face difficulty in opening those arms. So you have to do it very gently when you're doing.
So in order to gently open the arm, you have to use both the thumbs on both the side panels of the arm and push it out in the outward direction. When you do that, approximately for around 20 to 25 degrees of deflection will come, and then it will stop in a position. So when it stops, then you have to leave it. And you have to ensure that it doesn't move back and in. Do not try to remove or replace filters until unless the arms are in a locking position, because if the arms are in a moving position, they might break. So that is one thing that everyone has to take care of.
One more practice we do in Delhi, that each filter we replace, we mention the date of replacement on the filters. So someone exactly know when last time the filters has been replaced. Sometimes happened someone forgot to reset the life of the filters.
So we can understand that the filter is new. It has been changed recently, but still the light started blinking again. That means that the filter life has not been reset, but the filter is new. So this can be used as a practice, because there is a place on the filters, every filter, where you can put your date when you are changing it and your initials, so that you remember that when you are when and who did it.
I think also, and I think Amir and Atul, you can add whenever the the new machine is installed, the practice is to run the machine at speed 6, and as soon as you run the machine at speed 6 in a matter of about 10 to 15 minutes, I think it will achieve the the level, and then after that it can be set to 3. So generally, the ideal situation for the life of filter, what we normally recommend for Premax is between 12 to 16 or 18 months, depending on the level of usage. But yeah, it's generally taken as level 3 speed and about 10 to 12 hours usage per day. Amir, Atul, please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, it is correct, sir.
So with the life of filters, there is actually an equation that takes 3 things into consideration. The first one is the filter uh, amount of pollutants that are going inside the filter. So there are 5 settings which are very low, low, average, high, and very high, which you can set inside the machine as a setting. As in, you know that this is one area wherein the chemical pollutants are very low, but the PM pollutants are very high. So you can set it accordingly, and you can change the life of the filters in terms of V5 and Premax and HIPAA. And the second thing is the amount of the hours that it runs, that generally is 10 to 12 hours every day. And the third thing is the fan speed. So at every single fan speed, when you change, the airflow changes, and accordingly the filter life on the monitor changes. So the amount of pollutant is the most important thing. I'll share a document with you all guys that how to change the amount of pollutant in case you need it. It's actually a setting thing, but for that you have to do an analysis of that area and understand that what are the levels of pollutants there are, and how you are going to change that setting. Because for that you have to be very, very meticulous in getting the data and understanding the pattern of that area.
Also, I think, Amir, you can also add in terms of how the settings can be adjusted depending on the usage pattern. For example, if somebody wants to auto set daily usage only in the night for say 10 to 10, and you just don't want to do it every day, you can just set the setting saying Monday to Sunday, 10 p.m. to 10 a.m. So the machine will run only for that time automatically and then switch off.
The timer setting is already in
Yeah.
and we will be presenting the timer
Okay,
setting.
sorry.
Atul, this is Raghu here.
Yes,
I just wanted to know how that you told that all the filters can be changed. The life can be changed if the PM levels are more, and if there is less chemicals, you can change the setting. I didn't understand what you meant by that.
Okay, I'll show you. Share screen. I'm showing. Wait. So here is
Modifying the filter.
I hope my screen is visible.
Yes,
Hello.
yes, it's visible.
So this is the settings, how we can change the modifying the large filtered dust or chemical setting, change from average to from very low to very high. So we have to go to the menu. There will be an option for large dust levels. So once you go reach there, you have to press and enter. Then for every filter, it will give you an option to change. Defaultly, it is set at average, so you can change it from low, very low to average, very high. In this also, it depends. You have to analysis the condition of the room, like if it is smoky or like smoke dust is there, then you have to change the chemical order. And in like in Delhi NCR during season, the particulate matter is so high, so we can change the particulate matter settings from average to very high. Or during monsoon it is low, so we can customizely change it to low also. So accordingly the filter life will adjust. It very high, the filter life lasts sooner. Here are the steps. We are going to share these all these steps to you to how to change those settings. Also in IQAir, it is if you have seen the particle counter. So particle counters also give you readings. I'm going to show you the particle counters. This one. I think it is not here. This is the one.
So this is the filter load index setting. You have to use the particle counter in order to check the amount of pollutant in the area, and as per the amount of pollutant you can take the readings, and you can understand whether it's a very low area or a low area, or average or high or very high area in which you are going to put the machine.
Like if the tobacco smoke, they have given 3 conditions: tobacco smoke, the presence of gases and chemical, and dusty environment. So if then you have to change you have to analysis these 3 things, and then you can change the settings. But for general, we keep as a practice at average only, default settings. Now, next part is going to cover is the what are the factors that make the machine fault. So the basic fault reason is generally we observe is a power surge, some voltage spikes, then the main circuit, PCB circuit board of the machine get damaged. Sometimes fuse get damaged.
Can you switch to the presentation?
Yeah, I'll be showing it on my screen.
Then the second is the physical damage due to mishandling. Sometimes what the customer do is not maintaining the machine properly. So because of that also some damages happens. So we are going to show you first there are 3 things we are going to cover is basically in the IQAir that we replace or repair is the first is the control panel, second is the power print, and third is the fan. For last 5 years, we have not replaced any fan in the IQAir machine that we have sold.
Before that, I think Atul, we should start with the first step. That we start with the fuse and the.
Sure.
Yeah, we are going to cover the control panel and print
everything. Now, first is the control panel.
Before the control panel, I think before the control panel, the first step I think should be if we check if the fuse is gone or not. If the fuse is gone, then we replace the fuse. If the fuse is not is working, then I think we get into the other diagnosis, right?
Yeah, so that's the first step. If the machine stopped working, the first thing that you have to do is you have to check the power cable. So if the power cable is out or not fit in properly, the machine will not work. But if you have done it, if you have tried it 2-3 times and still the machine is not turning on, the first part is to check the control panel, whether the lights on the control panel are coming or not. Even if there is some time that the control panel gets stuck. If the control panel is not working, then we go to the PCB. So we check the PCB and then we open the machine and we see that how the machine is opened and what all are the ramifications that we do in the PCB.
I'm going to tell you how. So the PCB is located at the bottom of the air purifier, below the at the fan unit. So you have to first open the machine, then you have to replace all the filters. You have to push the arms and replace all filters. Then you go to the bottom area. After removing the filter, there's a mesh. Then you have to open this grill with the screwdriver. IQAir machine comes with its IQAir machine.
Do you want to show, Amir, do you want to show the document which you have created?
No, I want to show 1 minute. Amir is showing you the screwdriver that comes with the IQAir machine.
So this is a screwdriver that comes with the machine that we use to open the machine. This is a Swiss head, Phillips head.
Amir, can you unmute yourself and talk from your microphone?
Okay. So this is the screwdriver that we use to open the machine, and this is generally used in case when we have to do all the changes in the machine and we have to service the machine. This is the only screwdriver that is used. It's, in the whole machine there is just one size screw that is used. So this is one tool that can help you fix all the machines and all different models and all the problems of the machine. So this is one thing we use. The second thing is the problems with the PCB. When we will go through the presentation, we'll tell you the steps and then we will show you what are all the faults that we have occurred over the period of time in the IQAir machines, as in terms of the faults and what all the services are needed. So Atul will go ahead with the presentation.
So once you open this grill, then what you have to do, you have to open this PCB. There's 4 screws. When you open the PCB, you will observe. Then you have to remove all wirings. There are 6 wires. You can see it in the one of the video, one of the pictures.
Your voice is echoing. Your voice is echoing. Atul, can you be mute and
all
again
6
mute?
wires and
Atul, one of you should
see the PCB. There are 2 fuses.
Atul.
Generally,
Atul, you
will
have to mute Amir. You have to mute Amir. Amir's PC has to be muted.
Hello.
Amir's PC has to be muted.
So
Amir, mute yourself, please.
So there, one of the fuse you can see in the image is damaged. You have to replace that fuse. One ampere. It's a 1 ampere fuse, and you can see a capacitor next to it. Generally, these 2 things are the one which we can repair and replace. Sometimes it happens that it will work. Sometimes it does not work. After even replacing, then we replace the whole circuit board.
दिखाओ वो वाला पार्ट देखो, हमने स्क्रीन शेयरिंग बंद कर दिया, ये वाला दिखा दो, पीछा वाला.
This is I'm sure. This is the fuse that generally breaks. Then this capacitor is burned. Once we notice these 2 things, we replace. Mostly cases it works. If it does not work, then we replace the whole PCB part.
With the experience of the last 3-4 years we have, so all these troubleshooting steps are basis the complaints we've received so far. It's been very, very minuscule, very minuscule. So like Amir said about the power cord, there we had a complaint where a customer called saying the machine is not switching on. So on the phone, we diagnosed, we asked him to remove the power cord and put it back, and it started working. So all these steps which we are sharing with you are based on the complaints you've received. And most of the complaints get rectified with the fuse. So we've quite a few fuses we've replaced, and it has started working. So just a minimal replacement. Other than that, the capacitors also. So we have replaced the capacitor and given the PCB back by putting a new capacitor. So these are the 2-step main things which normally come in as a fault. Otherwise, if there is if the voltage surge is very high and if it bypasses the capacitor as well, then I think the third option is to replace the PCB. So first step is the fuse. Second step is fuse and capacitor, or either the capacitor. And the third step is even if the fuse is gone and the capacitor has been bypassed, then the third step is to replace the PCB itself. So these are the only 3 troubleshooting steps. There is no 4th step right now as of now, because we are not repairing the track and all. So we're just doing these 3 steps for a air purifier.
So should we have these fuses and capacitors ready
Yes.
with us?
Yeah, so we are doing that. We are doing a try, and Weber, I think we discussed this, right, Weber? So we will create a kit where the fuse and capacitor and the PCB will have to be like a spare part stocked with every dealer, because fortunately we have had very minimal complaints, and these are also not because of the manufacturing defect. These are because of voltage surges. wherever we have got a few of those cases in the last many years, it has been only because of the voltage surges, even though sometimes people have had a very high voltage surge. And Atul and Amir can add and confirm.
Can we recommend voltage stabilizers for that?
Amir, Atul?
We do have recommend voltage stabilizers also, but after that also sometimes the cases has come that it went damage. So
So yeah,
generally,
generally you should, if you have a voltage fluctuation, very like in Delhi, we have a lot of voltage fluctuations. So we recommend voltage stabilizer as a regular thing. But if it's in Bangalore or in Chennai or in Gujarat, if you find that the particular area has a lot of voltage surges and fluctuation, it is ideal to recommend stabilizer. Even in that case, if there is a very one-off rare case, then we'll have to diagnose. So that's this basically is for that only. So you diagnose, start with the fuse, replace the fuse. If it works, fine. If not, then try and see if the capacitor is gone and replace the capacitor. Because capacitor you can very visually notice, because if the capacitor is gone, it will be showing a burned capacitor. So you don't have to remove the capacitor to check. You don't have to test the capacitor. You can visually see that a capacitor is burned, which means that the the fluctuation has burned the capacitor, and then you replace the fuse and the capacitor, and or maybe fuse is still working, the capacitor is gone. So those 2-3 things, and if both are not giving you a solution, then you go ahead into the replacement of the PCB. Yes, Atul, carry on, please. Thank you.
so once you have diagnosed the problem and changed the capacitor, you can again install it back. Now, next is the servicing of Air Visual Pro, sir.
Before that, yes, any questions, Raghu, Gautam, Manoj, anybody who's on the call, Darshan Bhai, Vijay, Sagar, anybody, any question on the air purifier? We can answer.
Yes, I had a question, Girish. Can I go ahead?
Yeah, Gautam.
Okay. See, in terms of setting the frequency of the filter, whether the high, medium, or low level, in terms of the particulate matter that is present, are you going to be doing a survey prior to that at a client's place in order to go on that setting? So that's what my question is.
Atul, you want to answer that question? So what his question was that if we are going to recommend the settings based on the PM levels or the chemical levels, do we have to do a survey, or how do we help them to set the filter basis the pollutants?
It generally in Delhi we put it at an average speed, but it depends on the area to area. Like during monsoon, the pollution levels are generally PM 2.5 levels are low, so they can change it to low or very low, the PM settings, or it's a place where if like one of the customer is smoking inside the room, so we change the chemical setting to very high. So he's saying that I smoke inside the room only. So in order to get rid of, I want that that smoke go quickly. So we change that chemical setting to very high or high. So likewise we work, but in general practice, in an average room, we keep that settings as default only.
And also,
Atul, just another question.
Gautam, also a lot of dealers have also taken the particle counter. So when you also what you can also do is carry. Sorry, somebody asking a question. Okay. So in case a lot of dealers of ours have now bought a particle counter. So if you're going to a customer's place, you can also carry the particle counter, and probably then you can tell. Right, Amir, Atul?
Yeah, from the particle counter also we can measure. If the we will share the that range at which you can set the speeds.
But how often, Atul, do you recommend? Won't this be a really tedious task if you are asking a client to do this twice or thrice annually? Isn't this too much to ask a customer?
Yes, I guess it is too much to ask to the client.
So also, should we just on an average just put the setting? See, for example, if I'm staying in Delhi, I know Delhi's got the AQAir 300, 400 plus, for example. Whereas Bombay currently has got an AQAir of about 100, 150 at the moment, or even less.
Yes.
But again, to set it every time during monsoons, non-monsoons area, I think it is tedious. So any particular setting, maybe you're saying just put it on average, but then if you put it on average, putting it in Delhi, it might not have the right efficiency because of the AQI being high in Delhi. So what kind of a formula do you devise for doing this?
Sir, actually, what we are talking about here with the load setting equation is why we are trying to implement it is in order to uh, increase that life of the filter,
Okay,
so that we understand that what is the actual life of the filter. If I am in Delhi, so the PM pollutant is very high, but in
right.
an area where I live in Golf Link or Jorbag area where there is too much of greenery in Chanakyapuri area, the chemical pollutants is very low.
Okay,
So I will have to continuously replace the chemical filter every 12 to 24 months. That is the time. If I have put all the three filter settings on high, I will keep on changing them. But if I understand that the chemical pollution in my area is low, then I can put that on low, and instead of using the filter for 1.5 hour, I can use 1.5 year, I can use the same filter for up to 3 years, and that will be a real analysis of the area. Now, as you told about the survey thing, the survey is already available for any area. I don't think any of the areas are left by CPCB. Most of the urban areas they have covered, so you can get very easily get a data of last 1 year what the air quality is in that area, and you can do a deduction of what the average air quality trend is. On that basis also you can make a decision. Or else, if you want, you have a measurement device of gases, or you can say PM 2.5. You measure it on the time when you are installing it, or in the worst case scenario when you think that this will be the worst case scenario for the entire year. You measure it, you see it, and on that basis you take a decision. This is more of a customer friendly option, wherein you tell them proactively that this is
okay,
one thing we can do in order to increase and enhance the life of the filter, and also to give you a real value and efficacy of the filters. Now, there is one case which happens. I have put in a filter
hmm,
in same thing that Atul said. A customer's room, it's actually his office where he smokes, and he smokes like 10, 12 cigarettes in a office timing of 8 hours. So the smoke is going inside the machine, and the gases filter is filtering that smoke continuously.
right,
Now, as for the setting, the filter should be used for 24 months.
right.
But since the gases consumption in that room is very high, the filter started smelling after 1 year. And then the customer asks that the filter is still green and it
Hmm,
started smelling. So why has it not turned red? So
right.
then we explained it to the customer that, sir, since the gases consumption is very high, this is the problem. Then I have changed the gases consumption, and as I have changed the gases consumption to high, all the hours came to zero, and it was only 100 hours left on that screen. So when 100 hours were left, he was ready. He told me, okay, go ahead, get the filter changed, and make sure that you change the setting to high, because I'll keep on smoking inside the room.
Got it.
So this is one thing that is always case on case basis, wherein many people, many customers whom we say proactively that we need to change the filter setting, they deny it. They said, look, let it be, because the monsoons are good and the winters are very bad, so it makes it average in Delhi. So let it be average. We will see if a smell comes, we will go ahead and get the filters replaced.
Okay. No,
So
but
sometimes we have
when you
noticed.
replace, sorry, when you replace the filter for this gentleman who still had 100 hours left, did he not question that in spite of 100 hours being shown on the screen, we are going ahead and changing the filter?
Sir, again, the 100 hours is left is because from the very first day, the machine is running on an average consumption speed,
Okay.
which on the very first day, if it should have been high, so the filters would have been gone probably 200-300 hours before the actual time. So it's all about the settings. Now, if the consumption would have been very high from the very first day, so the filter life would have been very different, and very different consumption would have happened. So this is
And
something
there is no way a proper automation of this selection can take place as of now.
Sir, the automation will always be a selected option on the screen. If I select
Okay.
it on average, it will be average. If I select it to very low, depending on my house, it will be very low. Now, if I select it to very high, it will be very high, and you cannot change it. The machine cannot change it. The machine is not intelligent enough to change it. So the machine, we have to change it manually. And now,
I got my answer. I got my answer then. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Gautam, we are looking at AI for future. We can do that.
Yeah. No, that's it. I'm just thinking from that aspect in terms of, you know, it's on its own, it can program it, whether via app or anything, once it gets applicable in the future.
That AI can be, things can be done. You have
Also,
to put some lot of sensors on the device that will.
Like in Mumbai, a lot of places we have dump yards. You know, there the odors will be very high. So those kind of things. So like Amir said, we have a lot of on the CPCB website. All the surveys have been done, and we have a handy information in terms of what the average pollutants in each area would be. I think basis pin code, I guess. So probably that can be used if you really want to do that proactively.
Got it. I think that's what we'll follow at the moment. Some data will need to be followed. This thing done. I got it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks, Gautam. Any other question anybody has on the purifiers? Okay, I think.
Just a second, Girish.
Yeah.
So, do you have availability of fans with your Delhi?
Sorry.
Do you have ready availability of fans if there is any problem?
Of availability of plants?
Fan.
Yeah. We have fan.
Yeah. We have in stock.
We have in stock.
Okay.
Hi, sir. Hello.
Hello. Yes, sir. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Who's this?
Yeah, this is Robinson from Coimbatore.
Yes, sir. Please.
Yes. Tell
me. Do we have this technology for automobiles? So we were talking about the air purifier for indoor.
This technology for car.
Yes, sir. The AI technologies in the Atom car air purifier, it is there.
Okay, sir.
Also, we have the new models for IQAir also come with such technologies coming.
Okay. Fine. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So one more thing is sometimes what happens, the controller that control the speed of menu and all other options is it's damaged. It will not change the speed. The speed part will stick. So we replace the controller in that case. So in order to replace the controller, you have to put a screwdriver at the plus sign side only, not that side. Once you press it from this side, this controller part will come up, and you can remove the wire and put a new controller. I will show you. So this is the controller, and from this side you have to press. It has grooves. It goes into the grooves. So from this side, once you press, it will come out, and this is the wire. You have to easily remove the wire and put a new controller and install the wire again with the new controller and put it back. Then it cannot be repaired, so you have to only replace the controller. Very rarely such complaint comes. I think out of 1,000 we have received only 1 or 2 complaints for such issues.
So the issue in discussion is that the speed doesn't change. When you're trying to change the speed with the menu, doesn't change. It gets probably locked. So that means the controller is faulty. Then this is how you replace the controller.
Yes.
Satul.
Yeah, I'll continue. The next is the fan part. We hardly got any replacement for fan. We have not got a single replacement for the fan that the units that we have sold. We received one complaint from the customer who have bought it for like 10-15 years back, and because of the some damage, the fan is making some noise, mishandling, the fan is making some noise. In that case, we have replaced one fan till now. I'm going to show you the IQAir fan also. So this is the basically an IQAir fan the machine has got. It's an EBM Tabst company who manufacture this fan. It's a German company who do it. So this is typically an IQAir fan. So we will going to share you a document that will give you the all information how to change a fan. It's typically it's a centrifugal fan. You can see.
The backward curved
centrifugal fan.
I think also the most important aspect to know that the consumption. I think Atul, you can also talk about the consumption, how much less power consumption happens, because we only have one moving part here, which is the fan. Rest are all passive filters. We only have one moving part.
Power consumption is quite low in this. Purifier is only 135, 44 to 132 watt. It depends on the speeds you are running.
So I think we did a rough back of the envelope calculation for a 12-hour duration at speed 3. I think Atul, we discussed it's about 1.5 rupees an hour, right?
An hour, right? Yes.
So just a back of the envelope calculation. If you run the purifier for about 12 hours at speed 3, its cost is about 1.5 rupees per hour. Or per day, or is it per hour, Amir?
Atul? Per day. It's a 1.5 rupees
per day.
Per day.
So imagine if you run for 12 hours per day at speed 3 for a month, your average cost only for the purifier is about 45 rupees. So that's the rough calculation of the power consumption of an air purifier of IQAir. 45 rupees to 50 rupees a month for 12 hours per day at speed 3.
So I think we have covered mostly for air purifiers. Now we are moving to our next product, that is IQAir Air Visual. So in Air Visual, the sensor has majorly 4 parts. One is a CO2 sensor, the back panel with PCB, the PM2.5 sensor, and an LED screen. The basic reasons for faults of Air Visual is because of the physical damage. Sometimes the screen got damaged. The battery, because of overcharging, the battery got swollen, and it is connected with the PCB board of the sensor. So the whole battery part has to be replaced along with the PCB board in case of Air Visual. And the next is PM2.5 and CO2 sensor. We hardly change any PM2.5 sensor.
Atul, can you go on presentation mode, please? Full screen. Full screen.
Oh. We hardly replace any PM2.5 sensor, and CO2 sensor also we have not noticed that much defaults. So major we have seen in case of Air Visual is for the battery with the PCB board. The battery got swollen. I'm going to show you all the spare parts of Air Visual. Then we can watch some videos in which it is how it is shown how to replace and do repair. So this is the case majorly that problems comes. Non-connected device. A swollen battery. The battery got swollen. You can see because of overcharging. So that we have to replace. We have to replace with a new battery. This backboard is connected with the battery, so we have to replace this whole complete board. Then I'm going to show you the other parts also. This is a PM2.5 sensor of the machine. This is a CO2 sensors. Majorly in this charging connector is there in the CO2 sensor. Sometimes this breaks. The pin breaks, and then you have to replace this complete CO2 sensor. We have received complaints for because of this. We change the CO2 sensor majorly. Sometimes customer put it wrongly or don't. The pin inside pin get damaged, so it is not charging. So then we have to replace this part.
Atul, can I ask you a question, please?
Sure. Yes, sir.
Okay. See, I have the IQAir Pro, which I've been using for almost about, I think, 3-4 months right now. Now, you said if you keep it continuously charging, the battery might swell up.
Yes.
I'm doing a 24-hour monitoring of air quality. So, it's plugged in 24/7, because if I leave it on the battery mode, battery dies out in approximately about 2 hours or maybe less than 2 hours. So, do you not advise to keep it plugged on 24/7, or how do we go about that?
Sir, since this Air Visual Pro, it's a C-grade monitoring device. Now, I don't think this machine cannot be used. Yes, it can definitely be used for continuous monitoring. But when you keep it on charging for continuously, the battery might get swollen up, and once it gets swollen up, you have to get it replaced. Now, the point is, in order to do a maximum efficiency, this is what we are talking about for customers, wherein people use it for a smaller interval of time, wherein they have to check the air quality of their house, of their office, of their car. They have to take it to different places. They can charge it once, carry it to places, just turn it on, put it on sleep mode, and keep on using it the same way. But when you do a continuous monitoring with that machine, the chances of getting it at fault is very high, and the battery might get swollen up within approximately 6 to 8 months of using it continuously on continuous monitoring.
See, even right now, the machine, this IQAir Pro also right now, it's on sleep mode for, let's say, 12 hours, but it's monitoring the levels. When I look up the screen every day, it's monitoring the 12 hours when it's been on sleep. Let's say night, it's on a standby mode, but still it's monitoring the CO2, it's monitoring the PM 2.5. So, but again, it's plugged in. So, because if I remove the plug, it's going to not last more than 2 hours.
So the monitoring will be happening in the sleep mode. It will give you a data when you see it the other day. You will see a continuous data in the chart
Right.
below the sensor for the continuous hours. But in the sleep mode, the maximum amount of battery is consumed on the screen, because it's a 5.5-inch LED screen that we have on that sensor, and because of that, the maximum energy is used in turning on and off that screen every time. So in order to increase the life of that battery that you have on your normal sleep mode, you can just put it on sleep mode and use it for continuous monitoring. In the night time, you have to see how much time it takes. Generally, on sleep mode, it goes good for another 6 to 8 hours.
I don't think that's not the case. That is, I think, with my IQAir, more than 2-3 hours, even in sleep mode, it'll be dying out. I'll have to plug it in. So that's the reason I asked. Okay, no worries. I got my answer done. Thank you.
Yeah, I have one more question. In fact, I spoke about this with Vaibhav, Mr. Vaibhav at 1 o'clock. I just delivered an Air Visual Pro to my customer yesterday, and the PM 2.5 is showing 0 and AQI is showing 0. And what Mr. Vaibhav suggested was to take it outside so that it comes back to a number and then take it inside. Is it the way generally you suggest, or is it she now is asking for a replacement? I don't know what to answer. I just have taken time till tomorrow.
Sir, so actually, this is a test, or you can say trial and error method that we use with the sensors. We take it out, so on the roadside or anywhere in the outdoors, there would be some amount of pollution. So it will show you pollution and you can do one thing. You can turn it off and on for a few times and see in the outdoors whether the sensor is still giving you that reading or not. If it continues to give you that reading, that means there is some problem with the sensor. If the reading changes at any point of time for PM 2.5 and CO2, it goes up to 10, 12, 20, 50, and then comes back to 0. then that means that the machine is working fine. There is also one more thing that we use in order to, when we give a new machine, we use a can of pressurized air.
We use this can fluid air. Sometimes what also happened, the particles got stuck in the fan part of the PM 2.5 sensor. So we fluid with the pressurized air, we clean it. It will stuck at the readings will like 1-3. It is stuck there. So we clean it and it again dropped to the normal levels.
What is the solution? It's just 1 day old. What is the solution you suggest now?
You keep on monitoring it, and
you keep just blew some air so you can
see the fluctuation
is happening or not. Use some run, or you can try a agarbatti near around the sensor, then it level goes up, then you can see that if the pollutants have come, the machine is.
Shall I suggest us the same, since she lives in the other part of Bangalore? I just have to travel.
Yeah, you can suggest her. You just suggest her run a agarbatti nearby that. If the levels gone up, then the sensor is working fine.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Otherwise, if this not happen, then there must be some problem with the sensor that we can fix. And
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Atul, you can carry on in case. Yeah.
So does anyone has any questions? Because we will be now moving on to a long extended video part wherein we have videos of how to replace and how to service the Air Visual Pro units. And I think we have already shared in the basics of how to open and use the IQAir Air Visual, IQAir machines. So this part we are covering for the Air Visuals.
I have a question and a request actually. Please tell us how to dispose of the used filters. So if someone is taking out the filters, used filter, how he need to handle that filter and how it can be disposed. Can you give us a light on that, please?
So it's a very nice question, Costa. Good to hear from you after so long time.
Yeah, good to hear too.
So I want to clarify one thing before Atul and Amer can comment on this.
Yes, sir.
The speciality about the IQAir filters and the casing which is provided in all IQAir machines, when this question is normally being asked, and now the frequency of this question has gone up because of the COVID environment, and people are worried by before touching any kind of filter on these kind of machines. Their worriness is also equally important, and we have to answer that. The design of all the IQAir filters and their section and the frame has been done in such a way that you will not be able to touch the filter media. So the man or anybody who is changing the filter is not in direct touch with filter media which has the virus or the bacteria or any particle which can be a source of COVID for that person. So you need not to worry, and you need to educate your customers as well, that whenever they are talking about the filter change and the risk of COVID by filter change is negligible if person takes care, and it is designed in such a way that only the frame and the outer part of the filter will be in touch with the person who changes that, and no filter media gets in touch with the person. So that is the beauty of all IQAir machines, and that is how the system has been designed. And you can imagine that if this system is not designed in COVID environment, the company is 55 years old, and that is how they have taken care of each and every element while designing the whole system. Now Atul and Amir can explain the disposal method. While in COVID, basically the situation is that there is no even good disposal method of any PPE kit in today's world, in India especially. So we as a responsible company and we as responsible partners, we need to think over it, and we need to have a good disposal method. Let's talk about what methodology and what system have been followed by Atul and Amir here for Delhi customers, so that we all can start following them. And if there is any improvement, we will let you know by email or by another video, so that you all will be trained on that. Thank you. Atul, over to you.
Just one more point, I think, Weber, if I can also add here, is about the whole characteristics of the COVID virus. We've read enough that there is a life of, since there is no organic matter, because COVID needs an organic matter to grow and multiply, right? And once the virus is trapped in the filter, there is a certain time span for which the virus will be active. So different surfaces have different timelines where the virus will be active, and after that it will automatically, the effect is gone, right? So there is also another point to note that once the filter is trapped in the the virus is trapped in the filter, there is a certain life, a certain time. After that, there is no effect of the virus. So that is also an important point of the characteristics of the virus.
So what we are doing in general practice in Delhi NCR is that whenever we are going for any service call or service visit, we make sure that we wear a pair of gloves while changing the filters. Our our service team is going with a proper kit in which they have got filter, they have got gloves, they have got shoe covers, they are wearing a proper face mask and face shield. And they are once they are replacing the filter, they put it in a box and use a disposable bag so to keep that filter in and dump it at a proper place. Or we ask the customer to dump it at a proper place. We just pack it in a box, then pack it in a disposable bag and seal it completely.
What do you mean by a proper place?
In a dumping yard.
In a dumping yard.
Okay.
Wherein people can touch it.
So it not be or the person who comes to take the waste, you can hand over it to them also. That's how we are doing currently.
So since the filters are collecting too much of air, and with air all these viruses, bacteria, pathogens, and all these things get stuck inside the filter, we consider it as a dangerous waste. So that is why we are using the practice of a disposable bag, wherein if all the filters that are replaced are put in the bag, in the packet that has gone along with the new filters which are already placed inside the machine. Now that filter is put inside it in the disposable bag, and then it is sealed. So even if someone is coming to pick up the garbage or everything, they don't touch the filter directly. So touching the filter directly on the surface is the most critical thing that we are trying to avoid. And here in our case, we are taking care of it by adding another 2 to 3 layers to it.
And we are also carrying the Savlon disinfectant bottles with us. In every one person, these bottles are there. So after that, they just disinfect the surface or the where we have touched at the machine. So customer when touch will not. We make sure that these small things really give a good customer satisfaction also. So we are practicing it.
Yeah, Atul, you can move ahead. Any other questions, team? Anything else on IQAir Visual Pro? And then I think we can see the videos. Go ahead, Atul. Amir.
Sure, sir.
拆这个 node 呢，首先呢，需要2个工具。第一个工具呢是这个螺丝刀，第二个工具是镊子。然后我们先从
Atul, the video is not.
It is not coming. बैटरी को मेरा चार्जर लेके
Atul, you need to unzip the entire file and then start playing it. It will play. It's a zip file, that is why it's not playing.
Wait, sir, wait. So you have to remove.
Restart, Arun. Atul, just restart.
Sure, sir. So he is going to tell you how to unscrew the easy flow or air visual.
I think the rubber gaskets are keeping the screws safe. I think he's removing all the 4 rubber gaskets.
I think he has unscrewed the pro. Now next will be how to remove the covering. Now he's going to remove the covering of the easy air visual.
我们开始抽出这个内部支撑架呢，用
I think now in the next video, he is going to show to remove the other parts of the air visual.
也是这边插进去。这个时候，一开始你千万你要说啊，我就造成这样的，你一般不会，因为什么？因为给它插座从外，所以这就怎么判断？把这个 USB 的插座从外放回去。这个时候呢，把这一侧的这个 PCB 板的这个缺口插到这个槽里去，这块也是一样，一使劲，然后把线压到这个温度，压进来就行了。这个时候，然后检查一下这个底座的这个边缘线是不是平的。如果和这个底座的 PCB 板的上边沿和这个底座是平的，说明你已经安装好了。现在把这个位置，
So next part of the video is to change the LED screen of the air visual.
拿着我的两只手啊，拿过来把这个东西啊，让 LCD 让整个node 倒过去，然后 LCD 冲着自己，然后把这些尽量在不损害、不让线材吃着很大力气的情况下，屏幕冲着自己 ，node 是向下倒置的。这个时候呢，需要用手来，这边是电池啊，你可以用电池，手来，这边稍微按住一点，向自己这一侧使劲摁住。另外一只呢，大拇哥放到屏幕里边来，捏住，相当于是这样捏住它，从中间捏住整个这个支撑架 LCD 屏幕。这个时候呢，好，慢慢的向上提，把它抽出来。好，这个时候抽出来，把整个支撑架抽出来以后呢，一定要注意这个位置有一个细节啊，这个位置有一个 WiFi 天线，这个 WiFi 天线呢是比较容易损坏的一个配件，而且更换起来相对要麻烦一些，所以这个时候呢，要尽量不要让它天线这边使劲儿，然后左手拿住这个支撑架，给这边天线放点余量，右手呢拿着底壳把整个这个支撑架倒过来，倒过来以后呢，然后把这个上壳呢，现在 LCD 开口的窗口处呢调整过来，让它冲着桌面。这个时候呢，内部支撑架就开出来了。然后现在两边的线材都没有较着劲儿啊。这个时候呢，我们把这个 LCD 屏幕打开，打开以后可以看到 LCD 呢实际上是由我们可以稍微把这边再拿过来一些，调整一下，拿过来一些，放平啊。LCD 呢是有一个这个 LCD 液晶屏本身，包括它呢还有数据线、FPC 线以及这个固定的插座。这个插座呢是黑边的，这个黑边呢不是向外，不是向水平这侧来抽的，这个黑边呢是需要把它翻起来的，然后把手指头呢放到这个边下沿，向自己这个方向一使劲儿，哎，勾起来了，它现在立起来了。立起来以后呢，然后对这样能看起来，现在立起来了。我重新来一次啊，这个呢我把它压下去固定，然后拿掉的时候呢掰起来， 这个时候在这个黑色的这个固定条搬起来的时候，是可以把这个 LCD 显示出来的。啊，轻轻一扣就出来了。然后这个是 LCD， 啊，现在就是 LCD 提到。然后啊，假如说有些的时候没有别的，我就现在把它放回去。现在这是更换的 LCD 啊。放回去的这个时候呢，就需要一点技巧了。这个时候呢 ，IQAir 线呢要把它放回去，要把它放回到这个插座里面。放回这个插座呢，不要太粗，切的进去。放回去的时候呢，是一样的。我这边也是。然后把它放回去，放回去。放回去以后呢
So we will be sharing these videos as well.
Yeah, we will share these videos.
While showing this. Yeah.
We want to skip this. We can skip this also. We'll share the videos.
Yeah, I think we should skip. We'll share because anyway the audio is not there and there is a English subtitle. So in case they have any, they have any questions, they can ask. Anything else is left, Atul?
No, that is all.
Okay, so I think if there is any question regarding, how do we service the air purifier or the Air Visual Pro, people can ask. All of you can ask. We've tried to, share whatever the service-related interventions we have got up till now. So in the last 3, 4, 5 years, whenever we've been selling, these are the basic things we have encountered, and we thought we should share with you so that at your end you guys can do it. We can always be there to help you over the call and depending on how it is. But we just want you to, because this is not too much to do. We thought if it's really shared with all of you, it will help you to quickly mitigate that. So and while Amir and Atul are always available on the call, phone, Zoom, this probably could help you to independently do it. We will share all the material, the videos. I've already shared a video of unpacking and replacing the filter and all. And this is basically for purely service-related complaints, which I think is not going to be much, very, very minimal. But in the eventuality when something comes up, this is what you should know in terms of what could be the reasons. How do you tackle those reasons? How do we diagnose and how do we rectify? If any questions anybody has, we can take that. And yeah, Atul, Amir, anything else you want to add?
No, sir. I think we have covered everything. We will be sharing all the documents and the videos. And later on, within a week or two, if anyone has any queries or questions regarding anything of the servicing of the pure products, as well as anything on the front of marketing, or as on to what are the features of the machine and anything regarding that, we have been a part of this team for IQAir from the very first day that came in the company. So we have all in and out knowledge of it. So if anyone would we would be sharing our contact details with you all. So if you want any information of anything, we would be more than happy to help the team.
Atul, you want to share that understanding what we had with Gautam during our conversation about how do you see the readings, reference reading, outdoor readings? You want to share that experience?
So with the Air Visual app or a website, we can control. I'll show you one. Air Visual. So we can control take the data from the outdoor locations also. So if we connect it with the Wi-Fi, the device, then we can remotely get the data. We have to go to the network settings, then select the area location of that area. It will automatically show. When it is connected with the internet, it will automatically take the location of the nearby places and connect to the sensor. So remotely we can, sometimes what happens, the data is not coming at the customer side, something with the porter happen. So remotely we can change we can do that. Take the device access and can change those settings.
Vaibhav, you want to add anything, Vaibhav?
No, I think everything is covered by Atul and Amir, and we just want to do this session again with some improved version so that the other modules of IQAir are also covered, like SLS, multi-gas, and some other variants. And if there are any specific question, I would request everybody to write back to us or talk to Atul or Amir as per the convenience, and then we can take it on. Ideally, the situation is that we have never faced a major problem with IQAir machines as on date. Till date, as per our experience, we have given the replacement filters for even 20 years old machine as well. So this is the I would say the quality control, or you can say the confidence on the machine which we have, which is available with you now. So I believe that rather not to put anything in terms of as a comment of the efficiency of the machine, but to use it efficiently is in our hands. Like Atul and Amir mentioned, that make sure that wherever you are putting this machine, the leaks are arrested before you start the machine. The windows are not opened. Sometimes we have heard that the windows are open and people are trying to measure the air quality. Obviously, IQAir, or it doesn't matter whatever the brand is, nobody will be able to give you result if your windows are open and your leakages are still there. So leakages from shafts, from exhaust fans, from toilets, from doors, from windows, from chutes, everywhere should be leak proof, and then the system is on. I am sure that your customers and you and your office will enjoy the cleanest air in the world. It is the quality which we all have to maintain. That's why these sessions are being conducted. It is not only the product's responsibility that will go into one's room and start giving the results. It is the overall responsibility. We always say that we are solution provider, and we always want our extended arms to act like that, as a solution provider, not the product supplier. The product supplier is one who gives the unit, who places the unit, washes his hand away and goes away. It is not the right thing to do with air quality subject. That is what I want to add in the end. And if there is any question left over, I'm happy. I would be happy to answer that. If not, then we would wrap up this session today, and see you in more sessions for which we are preparing now, and let's see how soon we can conduct that.
One thing I want to also request and urge everybody who's on the call. Most of you would have got my mail on that video of right from unpacking to how to replace a filter and change. I would really urge you to go over it again and again. People who have not, I know Bal Sankar and others have not got that email. I can ask Nelson and William to share, or I can also share. But please go through that. That's the first step you will be requiring, because whenever you are selling a machine, that's the first step. So those are the first things you require every time. The other parts which we showed about replacement, they will come very late, or it may not even come. But that video is very important about how do you unpack the machine, how do you open the arms, how do you replace the filter. Even the filter will come after 12 months. But right now, the first step. So if you go through the video, it's not a long video, very helpful. Over and over again, you can see, so that it really gets you to understanding how to do it and becomes very easy for you to do. It's a very simple machine to operate, not much of a challenge in that. Thanks, Vaibhav. I think thank you, Atul and Amir, for really taking that effort and time for making this presentation and sharing your experience about the last so many years you've been handling this machine. And thank you to all the dealers for giving your time and patiently listening to us. And we have tried our best. And like Vaibhav said, we'll be keeping or repeating these sessions while doing a refresher and also adding more machines like the clean room series or the multi-gas or the CLS. And if there are any questions, we keep supporting you. We're always available on the phone, on video. Whenever you have any customer, you need any help, Amir Atul are available. Their numbers are there, and you can reach us out anytime. And thank you, Vaibhav, for getting this organized.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Trevor, thank you very much, and a very nice T-shirt.
Thank you. Thank you.
You want the ego, so don't worry.
Thank you.
I like that beat logo on the T-shirt. Very nice. Thank you.
Easy and
Yeah.
IQAir.
I know. I saw that. Very nice. Lovely T-shirt. Yeah, thank you. Have a great day, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.